Further cracks have surfaced within ASEAN, whose foreign ministers are meeting in Jakarta this week. A Thai diplomat's surprise visit to Myanmar to meet its deposed state counsellor Aung San Suu Kyi last week caught the regional grouping off guard. Aung tells us more.
We're trying to find a way to settle Myanmar.
Any message from Suu Kyi to ASEAN?
She's in good health, that's all. Because most people are concerned about her health.
The news came as a surprise to the rest of ASEAN's top diplomats who are gathered in Jakarta this week for a series of meetings. Outgoing Thai Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Don Pramudwinai had quietly made a trip to Myanmar ahead of the meetings. The Thai Foreign Minister has become the first known foreign envoy to meet Aung San Suu Kyi since Myanmar's military coup 2 years ago. Now, previously, the army said that Ms. Suu Kyi wasn't allowed to meet anyone as she was undergoing legal proceedings. Ms. Suu Kyi's trials wrapped up late last year, and the 78-year-old is currently serving a 33-year jail sentence. ASEAN has excluded the military from high-level meetings due to a lack of progress on its peace plan known as the 5-point consensus. But Thailand held various informal talks with the Myanmar military recently. These were attended by some ASEAN states, but not current chair Indonesia, Malaysia and Singapore.
I think the military's message to ASEAN is that it wants a different organization to lead the diplomacy around the conflict in Myanmar. That the exclusion of the junta from ASEAN meetings and the sense that the junta seems to have that maritime countries, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and the Philippines in particular, are hostile to it. That it would prefer a forum in which there are countries that are less hostile.
Former Indonesian Foreign Minister Martina Talegawa says he agrees with ASEAN's position to exclude the military from meetings. But he adds the fact that the Myanmar army allowed Thailand to meet Suu Kyi suggests it's clamoring for some kind of engagement with ASEAN, and the Bloc must use that as a catalyst to demand accountability from the military.
At the moment, for them, it's perfectly comfortable. They simply don't need to turn up. They can go on in their own way. And I think it is useful, first of all, twin-track policy. First of all, the seat that is now being left empty I'm not saying it should be necessarily occupied by the democratic forces representatives, but at least the NUG must be invited to ASEAN meetings so that the junta will realize that their non-attendance is not without cost to them.
Other observers, including Myanmar's Civilian National Unity Government or NUG, also say the surprise meeting had affected ASEAN's unity. Earlier, Malaysia's Foreign Minister Zamri Abdul Kadir told reporters that foreign ministers agreed in Jakarta that informal talks must be directed to ASEAN lest they became unilateral. He added such efforts must also be based on the 5-point consensus. As meetings continue with dialogue partners in Jakarta, all eyes will be on the Bloc's next move on Myanmar, which can give an indication of how united ASEAN is in dealing with this crisis. Leong Wai Kit, CNA, Jakarta.